Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
And tonight, a couple seeking justice after a San Antonio police officer shot and killed their dogs in their yard.
This happened Sunday afternoon on the northwest side, and we're told that one of the dogs was a service animal.
The night team's Zaria Oates walks us through what happened that day. Now, we do want to warn you, the story may be difficult to watch for some of our viewers.
These are the moments immediately after Sabra Sakula saw a San Antonio police officer shoot and kill her two American bulldogs.
She goes to open the door and I hear a gunshot, and I immediately bolt to the back door to find both of our dogs dying on the back porch.
Trey Sakula and his wife Sabra were at home on Sunday when an SAPD officer pulled into their driveway. According to a police report, the officer was responding to a 911 call for help. Little did this family know these would be their last moments with their two dogs.
Killed a service animal, a registered service animal.
According to the police report, an SAPD officer knocked on this front door, and when no one came to the door, that's when the officer walked around the home on this side, and the family caught everything that happened next on their home cameras. In this video, it appears the officer's gun is already in his hand before we ever see dogs in this video. You're freezing the video here, but you can still hear shots being fired. In the police report, a responding officer says the officer who shot the two dogs, quote, feared for his safety. When we asked SAPD if the officer was placed on any kind of leave, they said no, and that the incident is being investigated by SAPD Internal Affairs.
I want him to see justice. It's a third-degree felony, and he should be charged as a civilian, just like anyone else would. She was a service dog.
I hope that this man does not have a firearm, at the very bare minimum. But
despite the dogs only running out after Sabra answered the door for the officer, this couple was cited by the city of San Antonio for, quote, two canines who were found to be free of restraint.
Their family, and they were both taken immediately from us without even a chance. There was deadly force used.
We have put in a formal request for the officer's body camera video. As of tonight, we have not received it. We will follow up once we do receive that information. Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
20 years in prison. That is the punishment for a man convicted of shooting and killing another man over a dog petting incident.
Yeah, we've been following this murder trial against 21-year-old Jordan Eaton since last Tuesday when it started. It all stems from an incident that happened back in 2021. At the beginning of the trial, the prosecution showed video recorded by a neighbor with their cell phone from a nearby balcony. In it, you can see Valentin Gonzalez's wife, Brittany, petting Eaton's dog.
So while testifying on his behalf, Eaton said that he told the couple not to touch his dog. He said he then started arguing with Valentin Gonzalez about a previous conflict while Brittany Gonzalez reached out to pet his dog. And that's when Eaton fired the first shot at the ground near Brittany Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's good. That's Valentin then running up and punching Eaton. The two men then got in that physical altercation. That's when Eaton fires two more shots, ultimately killing Valentin Gonzalez. A jury found him guilty of murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. They sentenced him to 20 years for murder and 10 years for aggravated assault.
However, the judge suspended the aggravated assault sentence and instead gave Eaton community supervision, which he's going to then serve after prison. Now, new on the Nightbeat tonight, two students in jail for allegedly bringing a gun to a school event. Schertz police say it happened around 6:30 tonight at Clemens High School. That's where officers found a gun in a backpack that a student was carrying. That gun was also reported stolen. Officers arrested both of those teenagers. Both are also facing charges. Nobody was hurt, and we're told that there is no active threat. Now, you know how we always say that if you see something, say something? Well, a tip from a parent is what led officers to those suspects.
I'm traumatized. I don't know what to say.
He sent me messages on WhatsApp telling me that he didn't want to get killed to come and pick him up. I was working. I just lost my head.
A harsh lesson. Kids at school finding out a fellow classmate was killed. That's what happened today at a high school in Manor. That's near Austin. A student dead tonight after being stabbed on that campus. According to KTBC, a station out of Austin, 18-year-old Darren Loving had been stabbed in the chest about 1 o'clock this afternoon on campus. He was allegedly stabbed by 18-year-old Mac Brown Mabai Mabanwe. He was detained by police after the stabbing. Tonight, we're working to learn what prompted that attack. Classes canceled at the high school at least tomorrow.
Another news, 7 people are in jail tonight after law enforcement agencies raided 2 homes. Happened in a neighborhood on West Commerce and Bellcross Street. The 2 homes had a history of code concerns and alleged criminal activity that the city said it could no longer ignore. That's according to the Dangerous Assessment and Response Team with the city, or DART. Investigators say the utilities at those homes were illegally connected. During a search warrant, officers arrested 7 people and say that they also found several weapons.
Early voting turnout has been huge so far. As of tonight, 419,916 people have voted early in Bexar County. A little more than 51,000 of you made it out to the polls today alone. Now, if you haven't, there's time. You can vote early through this Friday, November 1st. In Bexar County, there are 51 polling locations. If you are registered, they're going to be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and you can vote at any one of them.
And after that, people who haven't voted can do so on Election Day. That is Tuesday, November 5th, exactly 1 week from today. We have everything that you need to know over on KSAT.com.
We ended the streak today. Barely, but we ended it. We had 53 straight days without measurable rain at San Antonio International. And today, we had 1/100th of an inch of rain. That is the least amount you can get to be considered measurable. Now, this is the 4th longest dry streak on record and 10 days shy of the longest streak. That was set back in 1993. All right, 89, our high temperature today. That tied the record of 89. Notice that average of 78, and there it is, 1/100th of an inch from one of those streamer showers that moved in. A few other neighborhoods were a little more fortunate with around 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. I want to talk about our high temperature trend. Still in the 80s the rest of this week. Mid-80s, tomorrow upper 80s, then mid-80s. But notice by next Tuesday and even Wednesday, we could be talking 70s, low to mid 70s for highs. That's another cold front on the horizon. But we're going to get into the details about more rain chances, and especially the rain chances on Halloween in just a bit.
When I first read it, I thought mountain lion, and my husband kind of laughed at me. He's like, there's not going to be mountain lions over here. He thinks it's a bobcat.
Bobcat, mountain lion, maybe a panther. Imagine looking out your window and seeing what you thought was a wildcat roaming around. It's exactly what a family in a subdivision off Bandera Road just outside of Helotes thinks they saw in their backyard. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office put out a warning on social media last night. The Sheriff's Office says so far there are no pictures of that cat, but deputies setting out traps, keeping a close eye on this furry mystery. By the way, this neighborhood does back to a green belt.
Furry mystery. Got it. Now, after Halloween, we look forward to Thanksgiving, right? And preparations are already underway for a fun San Antonio tradition. You know what we're talking about. The annual Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. It celebrates its 45th year next month. But the daughter of the event's founder says that it can only happen, meaning it could only proceed, with volunteers.
He would be very proud of us as a family, but even more proud of the community for stepping up every year to ensure that nobody goes hungry, that nobody is invisible, and that everybody has a place to go.
And the community does step up in a big way every year. Usually more than 4,000 volunteers make the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner possible. So if you want to help, we have a link for you to sign up on KSAT.com.
Thousands of reports of educators being hurt on the job by students. Just months ago, an educator died from his injuries. Still ahead, what our KSAT Investigates team uncovered about this troubling trend in our area. Bites, punches, even death. That's just some of the abuse Bexar County educators have endured.
That's right. And after months of going through the data, our KSAT Investigates team uncovered a troubling trend. As the widow of an educator killed on the job tells our Daniela Ibarra, it's a problem she believes can be prevented.
This slice of heaven is where Margot Jimenez has been coping with her own personal hell.
It's been a nightmare for me.
Her husband, Alfred Jimenez, was an instructional aide for special needs students at Brandeis High School. They called him Mr. Fred.
He just had a way with these kids. I never even thought that he could do something like that.
In February, Northside ISD says he was redirecting a student. During that interaction, the district says Mr. Fred fell and hurt his head. Mr. Fred was hospitalized and later died.
I was there every day for 10 days, and I'd never left his side. We prayed the rosary every day because he loved the rosary.
The medical examiner ruled Jimenez's death as a homicide, but the student who caused Jimenez's death isn't facing any charges. That's something Margot agrees with.
This person was my husband's favorite student in his room where he took care of him. He loved him to pieces. I would never blame this student, never.
She says the blame lies with decision makers.
He never should have been murdered like he was at school. He was shoved, pushed, whatever you want to call it. He's dead now because the school districts and the state won't do anything. I don't care what it takes. Something has to be done before it happens again.
KSAT Investigates wanted to know how often educators report being injured by students. We reached out to 19 districts with schools in Bexar County and found they recorded more than 2,600 injuries in the 2022-2023 school year. That's more than 14 reports each school day. Cases climbed up slightly in the 2023-2024 school year. One educator reported being kicked, bit, and punched in the nose. Another teacher got headbutted by what they called an aggressive student. And another student stabbed a substitute in the forearm with a pencil.
They happen in the cafeteria. They happen in the hallways. They happen on the buses.
Wanda Longoria taught for more than 36 years. She's the secretary-treasurer of the Texas American Federation of Teachers. We showed her our findings.
When you're looking at those numbers, what do you think?
This is why you're having difficulty attracting teachers to the educational field and attracting other educators to the field.
But not all districts keep track of the number of injuries specifically caused by students, like Lackland ISD. We asked why, but the district didn't give an explanation.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a travesty. I think that our constituents deserve to know. Parents deserve to know.
Margot says the numbers should be a wake-up call to prevent others from experiencing her same heartbreak.
I would hate for anybody to go what I'm going through right now.
What do you think needs to change?
So honestly, I think what needs to change is that these teachers in school have more help. I feel like it took my poor husband to die so that maybe somebody would start doing something.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Daniela Ibarra.
So a Northside ISD spokesman says that the district there is constantly updating safety protocols to prevent tragedies or injuries.
Yeah, they also do offer training throughout the year at the request of staff, and they're working with special education staff to figure out exactly what tools they need.
If you're a teacher or if you're a parent, we want you to join this conversation. Tell us what you think. Scan this QR code to fill out our survey.
Yeah, and if you're curious about your specific school, we have the injury reports broken down by school district on this story. You can find that information right now at KSAT.com.
All right, switching gears right now. All right, the countdown's even closer for Halloween.
We're almost here. And, we do have to talk about the specifics for Halloween. So let's get right to that. Then we'll jump into everything else with rain chances and that cold front early next week. So rain chances during trick-or-treating at 20%. Brief stray shower or brief downpour possible here or there. I mean, we're talking highly isolated. Temperatures will be warm and it's going to be sticky. Dew points around 70, air temperature about 80 degrees at trick-or-treating. And last but not least, good reminder, sunset 6:48 p.m. Then you have twilight. Then it's dark by 7:15 p.m. Here's a look at the rain chances going forward. Just about daily, we have a 20 to 30% chance. And notice on Halloween Thursday, 30%. That's especially during the first part of the day, not as much during the trick-or-treating hours. And then thereafter, it's just hit or miss 20 to 30% chances. Earlier today, we had some of those streaky showers that would quickly be moving from south to north. And you see the paths that they took here through town. And check this out. Around Windcrest, about 1/10 to 1/1500ths of an inch. Same story down toward Kirby, and even downtown we had a few hundredths of an inch. Remember, to be considered more than just a trace and actually measurable in a rain gauge, it's 1/100th of an inch, and that's what we officially got at the airport today, breaking the streak of rain-free days. Just barely, but we did. And overall, I know the rain chances aren't significant, but it's an indication of some pattern shifts and changes overall that we're seeing. Now, we do have a weak cool front off to the northwest of us. You look, most of Texas right now, well, actually, just about all of Texas in the 70s, Brownsville an exception at 81. And then behind this front, we've got temperatures in the 50s and 40s and even some 30s as well. And notice the blue on this screen? That's the snow in the higher elevations of the Rockies. Another sign of the season starting to change here. Well, this cool front's going to drop in and stall basically just outside of San Antonio and parts of the hill country. And that will help, I think, rain chances a little bit, particularly in the hill country Thursday morning. Tomorrow, it's going to be more of what we had today. A few little streaky showers here and there. Not a big deal. Quick splash and dash. Unfortunately, not enough to really make a difference for the lawn, garden, or aquifer or the drought situation. We get into Thursday morning, and that's when the front drops into the hill country. And along that, probably a broken line of showers and non-severe thunderstorms, a few downpours. And then that broken line starts to dissipate as it heads toward San Antonio as that cool front kind of falls apart. And then during trick-or-treating time, again, one or two isolated brief little hit or miss showers or brief downpours. Here's another indicator of a shifting pattern. So we have our first trough that moved through. Now we've got a second one expected to drop into the western U.S. this weekend. This long wave trough, this big dip in the upper level flow, likely to be more pronounced than the one we currently have pushing in that weak cool front that's going to stall in the hill country. In turn, this is likely to have a slightly better cold front and more potent hit of that cooler weather. So let's talk about it with tomorrow. 72 in the morning, 82 at noon, and then 88 the high temperature. Still a bit breezy. Southeast wind at 10 to 20. It's gusty all day today, similar tomorrow. And that 20% chance of hit or miss, isolated, brief pop-up showers. 83 in Kerrville tomorrow, 89 Pleasanton, 93 Cotulla. But then because we do have that stalled boundary on Halloween, in the hill country, temperatures should top out in the 70s. So Thursday afternoon, 70s in the hill country, but still 80s elsewhere. And 85 Pleasanton, for example, and 84 in San Antonio. And looking ahead to the morning temperatures, we talked about the afternoon temperature drop off, probably low to mid 70s by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Remember, it's a cold front that hasn't even formed yet. We're trying to predict exactly what it's going to do to us, but we'll fine tune this forecast in the days ahead. More importantly, it looks like those morning temperatures will fall off again, and we could have morning readings down in the 50s by next Wednesday. Until then, it's more humidity, mugginess, and above average conditions. And outside, we actually have a few of the clouds. I noticed that we're streaming back overhead, and we can't rule out a sprinkle overnight, but more so early tomorrow morning. A few wet spots on the roadways, but should be very isolated.
Okay, thank you.
All right, how about a little Texas State football on a Tuesday night?
On a Tuesday night, how about that? And Texas State is in need of a win. They're trying to bounce back from a loss to Old Dominion. And tonight they take on Louisiana in a Sun Belt West Conference matchup. Plus, the second part of our Game of the Week preview, John Jay is hunting greatness in its new class. Coming up.
I think on social media I've seen there's like 65, 66 undefeated teams left in the state of Texas, and you started out with 1,200, and so to have two of them playing each other, is a big deal.
A great deal is on the line when Jay and Southwest face off. Where the Mustangs' head is at coming up in Big Board Sports. But first, a key Sun Belt Conference West Division matchup going down tonight between the Texas State Bobcats, who are coming off of a disappointing 24-14 loss to Old Dominion, and Louisiana, who are winners of 5 straight. And this game just went final. The Ragin' Cajuns win 23-17. Now, there was a significant injury in this ball game that really disrupted the momentum. Important to note there, but Texas State falls to 4-4. Louisiana 7-1 now.
Everybody can get mad at me all they want to. I'm just telling you what the way the game's played right now. And yes, it is my fault we're 3-5. I'm not blaming anybody else. It is Jeff Schroeder's fault we're 3-5. No one else's.
UTSA head football coach Jeff Traylor not making excuses but not mincing words either when talking about the competitive disadvantage the Roadrunners face with their recruiting budget compared to, well, an institution like their next opponent, Memphis.
There's a reason there's a movie about Moneyball, because it's an anomaly, right? We have a tenth of their recruiting budget for a roster, and that's a tremendous disadvantage. There's a lot of those kids on that roster that we recruited and have good relationships with, and we couldn't get them.
All right, it's one of the biggest high school football games of the year, which is why it's our big game coverage game of the week. John Jay and Southwest own records unblemished. And when the two programs collide this Friday, they're essentially playing for the District 14 5A D1 crown. Jay, who competed in Class 6A last year, is coming off of a regional semifinals appearance. And now the Mustangs want to make history as part of 5A.
We're really just trying to focus up on our practices and stuff, because we know that this undefeated. We're both undefeated. A huge game. Everybody's gonna be watching it, so we're really just trying to focus up.
Somebody's gonna go home with a notch in the loss column, but both teams have worked their butts off all year long in the summer.
This is one of the first times we start off 8-0, and we're getting really close to touching history in this school. First undefeated 10-0 season to be district champs. Our first year in 5A, it would just be a statement.
It's going to be a great game. We aired interviews from Southwest camp yesterday, so for a full preview of both teams, visit the BGC page on KSAT.com. The action goes down this Friday at 7:30. The Houston Texans offense takes another hit ahead of their Thursday night faceoff with the Jets. Stephon Diggs was placed on the season-ending injured reserve today after suffering a torn ACL in the third quarter of the Texans' win over the Colts. Houston will once again have to adapt, already without star Nico Collins and now missing Diggs' veteran presence.
Just everything that he brought, not only on the field but off the field, the energy, the leader, like the way he worked every single day. He brought a lot to our team, and we have to pick up the slack. A lot of guys have to step up, pick up the slack, but definitely praying for him to have a speedy, successful recovery. It's definitely a blow to us.
All right, a World Series update and a successful first ever night of basketball at Texas A&M San Antonio last night after the break. 4 of the World Series, the Dodgers came in looking for the sweep, and they opened up with a 2-0 lead after Freddie Freeman went yard. Yes, you heard that right. 6 straight World Series games. Freddie Freeman has a home run, but in the end, the Yankees prevail. They force a Game 5, 11-4. Game 5 is tomorrow at 7:08.
Future is big. The future is big. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's very bright. I see us getting that, cutting that net down soon.
Hey, what's this? We need that ring.
Texas A&M San Antonio debuted its new men's and women's basketball teams on the hardwood last night. The women opened up program history with a win. The men came up short, but the story of Jaguar basketball is just beginning. We know that the coaches did a great job recruiting, so like Evelyn Lorenzo and Maya Simon said, the future is very bright.
I love seeing the crowd.
Yeah, they were so into it.
Huge crowd there for their first ever games. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you. We'll be right back. That does it for us here. Have a wonderful night.
Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.